Welcome traders, I'm Cam Mitchell, founder of Trade With Me, and today's topic, well, I've been trading for over 23 years now, and there's two questions that I get asked a lot. Question number one is, I want to learn how to trade. Well, where do I look? Where do I start? And the second question is I've just done a course. Where do I start after doing this course? I've got all this motivation. Where do I go? Well, the first topic, firstly, I need to, a disclaimer, I'm a little bit biased. I actually do my own trading course. I only do a limited number of spots every year, so there's not a lot of opportunities to get into my course. But if you're going to learn how to learning how to trade, there is so much information today that you can get online. You can go through YouTube, the internet, all those sorts of things. So there are lots of ways of learning, but there are some things that I would highly recommend that you are when you're learning how to trade, where to go and what to look for. I highly recommend that you actually see someone in person. So you actually go to a workshop, someone's workshop, and learn how to trade. But there's two things that are very important about these things. Number one, I highly recommend that the person you see is live. So you go to the actual workshop, not a webinar or anything like that. Because when you learn how to trade, questions come up and you need to be able to ask the presenter what the answers to those questions are. The second thing that I find that's very important is that the actual presenter is, or the one that they're marketing the ads is the one that is actually presenting. So if you're going to someone's course, they are the one that's presenting, you get to ask that person that question. Because what you're essentially asking is you're asking them for their experience and for their information. So when you're starting off, it's vitally important that you get that correct information so you can move forward as quickly as possible. So that's if you haven't traded at all. What if you've done a course and you're all passionate and you're not sure where to start? Well, I meet a lot of students like that, and I've put together a couple of things that I think might help you get on the right track. So here's what I have here. So where do I start? That's the most common question. And the first thing I recommend is that you set your outcome. What does that mean? Well, how many hours per day are you going to be able to trade? What markets will you trade? How much capital do you have to trade? These are all things that you have to do from the start. What is your actually goal with trading? How much do you want to make? If you want to make let's just say you want to make $1 million a year, that's going to be very difficult if you're going to trade 5 minutes per day. So you've got to sit down and say, okay, how can I be consistently in front of the market during certain times? We have such a great opportunity now with these financial markets. You can literally trade for 15 minutes a day, trade the daily charts, and get a really good income. And if you want to, you can actually trade for 16 hours per day and look at all different markets like foreign exchange, crude oil, gold, S&P, DAX, all these different things. So such a great opportunity that we have now, and you need to decide on what you are looking for and how much time you can dedicate it to it. So the next thing is investing in your business. So make sure you have an up-to-date computer. So you've got to invest in your business and have an up-to-date PC. A consistent and reliable internet connection and a backup, which is very important. Your orders will be going through the internet. If the internet does drop out, which can happen, you must have a backup. I've actually got 3 different backups. I've got my mobile phone. I have a Telstra Wi-Fi little 3G unit, and I also have dial-up as well. So there's lots of opportunities for me to get onto the internet if something happens to my main internet. You also, depending on what markets or how many markets, invest in good screens. Now, as you can see that I have in here, I've got a picture of my trading layout. Now, this is not to have as many screens as possible just to look good. I'm trading lots of different markets at the one time, so I'm looking at things like the S&P 500, crude oil, foreign exchange, doing a lot of work on daily and weekly charts on the ASX. So I need to have those at my fingertips or looking at them at every single time that I'm in front of the PC. So I don't want any clutter. So that's why I have a fair few monitors. But if you're just looking at the ASX 200, you could just trade off a laptop. You only need one screen. Very simple to do. Again, this comes down to what markets are you going to be trading and choosing that well in advance. Setting up a provider or / a broker. So in Australia, I highly recommend that you set up a CFD account. With this one account, you have access to all the markets in the world under one platform. It's a great place to start. I use IG Markets, however, there are other providers in Australia that you can use. Now, this is what's so fantastic, and the opportunity that we have now is that we have these companies that have great software charting programs where we can access all different markets all over the world at any one time. And in the old days, 20 years ago, you had to set up different accounts with different brokers to trade different markets. Now we can set up one account with a CFD provider, put $500 in there, and literally look at all the different markets in the world. So as I said, I use IG markets, but there's also CMC, City Index. Now I don't have any affiliation with any of these. I do use IG markets because it suits my trading in the markets that I use. But I highly recommend you go and look at different CFD providers, do demo accounts, find out which market works best for you and which platform works best for you. The next thing, learn about your market and the instruments associated with that market. So what time does your market open? What instrument will you trade in this market? Are you going to be trading shares, CFDs, futures, or options? So the great thing again about the internet is go onto Google, type in shares, type in CFDs, what is a CFD? Go to YouTube, find out about these instruments, learn about these instruments well in advance of putting on trades, and really get to know everything about the market. What time does it open? What time does it close? Does it have an aftermarket auction or a pre-market auction like it does in the Australian market? I trade crude oil, what hours of the day does that trade? All these different sorts of things. There is a lot to learn early on, but the great thing is it's so simple today. You can go on the internet, learn about these. There's some great tutorials out there, and once you've done it, then everything becomes so simple. So back test your trading strategy. This is just so important. So this is vital before you begin to trade. You must trust that your strategy works, and the only way to do this is to back test it. I've got another video in my list of how to back test. Go and have a look at that video and I'll show you step by step on how I actually back test, because it's actually really important that when you are placing a trade, you actually have no emotion in that trade, and that you have the confidence to actually put it on. And that confidence quite simply comes from back testing and knowing that your strategy works. So also trade money in real time. I don't believe in paper trading as it removes the emotional element of money. There are so many millionaire paper traders out there. We've seen it all before. You paper trade, you do really well, and then you get to the actual market and it changes. Well, what changes? It's the emotional element. It's the human and money element that changes. So we need to practice in real time, practice putting on trades as the market is open. So the best way to actually learn is by trading actual money. But what I highly recommend is for the first 4 weeks minimum that you trade with only one share, one contract. But this is with actual real money. So you're actually learning how to trade with real money, which means you're actually practicing that emotional element. Once you have shown your plan works in real time with real money, then you are ready to increase your dollar amounts. Now, it's been said many times before, but trading is 20% technical and 80% psychology. And this is where the psychology element comes in, is that you practice actually trading in real time and you learn the psychology element of trading. And this is why it's so important when you start. So in summary, set your outcome. As I said, have a goal, have a process. What are you wanting to achieve? Invest in your business. Before you start trading, get the right computer. Make sure you have the right screens. Make sure you have your desk in a clean desk environment. Make sure you've got a good internet connection, all these different things. Set up a broker or a provider. As I said, I recommend a CFD provider. I use IG markets, but I'm not affiliated with them. Go and find out for yourself. There's lots of providers out there. There's so many great opportunities now. Get some demo accounts and actually learn by doing. Learn about your market and instruments. Okay, learn everything there is to know about your market and the instruments you are trading. Backtest your trading strategy. Vitally important that before you start trading, you have confidence in your strategy, and trade money in real time. So vital. So there's a little bit of an insight into what I went through when I was sort of beginning to trade, and really what helped me move along a lot quicker and have a process to get started. I'm hoping this video has helped you. If you have any questions, please send me an email to support@tradewithme.com.au, or with all the latest updates and the new videos, go to tradewithme.com.au. I'm Cam Mitchell. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.